together. Yes.
We're running short on time, and
Okay.
we have a question from our virtual audience
Okay.
and a question here in the live audience. First, the question that came in via Yammer
Okay.
from our webcast audience. What's the best way to participate in a developmental move when your current position doesn't permit the time away?
And we'll just get one perspective on that. So who wants to take that?
Recently, I've worked with an employee on a developmental move, and if they were interested in moving to a certain department to do a certain role. I talked to the hiring manager over there. They had a person over there that was interested in making a move toward our direction. It was a natural fit, but you've got to include your supervisor, put it on your IDP, and then start discussing it.
Okay. And we had a live question? Oh, okay. Good. Okay. The same question, Glenn? Okay.
Yes.
Then I'm looking at the clock, and we've been at it about an hour. We'll move into wrap up. And to do that, let's go to rapid fire. One word answer. One thing, if you had to recommend one thing that a candidate could do to better prepare themselves, to make themselves the best competitive candidate, what would be that one word? Fran?
One word. Just quickly, call that hiring manager or supervisor and ask. I'm an engineer, but I can't count that. You know, whatever you can do to the extent that you can, tell me what you're looking for in a candidate. Make that connection.
Ron?
Again, like Fran said, communicate and make yourself marketable. Do those things to make yourself marketable.
Okay.
Read the job posting.
We're getting
John's never said one word.
Any one of them answer with one word. Homework. Do your homework.
Do your homework. One thing. What's the one thing that you believe we still need to do? And this may be redundant, but I think this is what's important. That's what this is all about. Closing the trust gap. What do we need to do to close the trust gap? And what are you personally doing to do that as you are presented with hiring opportunities?
Effective communication.
Communication?
Absolutely.
More timely feedback.
Understand this is not going to be one word. Understand with 8 people applying for the job, you may get 3 great candidates. Okay? Don't give up. If you are offered feedback, take it. Make sure you go sit down because the panel gets together and decides on the feedback they want to give you. You can take it seriously and go talk to the hiring manager, or you can ignore it. I'd recommend to take the feedback.
Communication feedback's what I think I would fall on, but I would challenge you to challenge us. I mean, if we're not walking the talk, then you need to call our hand on that.
Absolutely.
If what we've told you today we truly feel and I believe we do, then we're going to take time. It may not be, you may want to talk to us Tuesday at 11 o'clock. I mean, that may not happen, but if you're willing to improve and develop, then we're willing to help you. And I think I can speak for most managers and leaders.
Great.
Okay. Any closing comments that you guys want to make? Any parting advice or anything you want to share with the audience in general? We've done a lot to try to improve job selection at all phases. Anybody want to add anything?
As you're watching the video for the job selection process and you're participating in that online training, take an active role in it. Don't just passively click through it, but say, what can I do on each of the points as it comes up on the screen.
One thing, Shelton, also, we've got the job selection process out there. It's pretty well defined, but there are ways to go through and manage that with that job selection process without having a committee interview. And in rare occasions, you'll see folks do that, where they'll get a committee together, folks will post on the job, they'll go through some kind of screening matrix and make a selection without ever having an interview. Doesn't happen often, but I would challenge you to understand in certain times and certain roles that may happen, and that doesn't mean that we're going outside of the job selection process, because we're using a lot of the elements of it. It happens more often than not, when jobs are very specialized, or when, for for other reasons where you need a certain type of skill set. But again, I think that frustrates me as an employee, where you put this job selection process out there and you developed it, and now here you are just selecting somebody. Understand that the selection process can look a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be a group panel type selection.
Ron?
As a hiring manager and as a corporation, our plans are not to put you in a position where you're going to fail. Because as a shareholder, that does us a disservice. So our role is the same role as you, to have, for this corporation to be successful. And we're going to do everything possible, whether it's talk, feedback, communication, sit down and discuss, performance plans, you name it. We're going to do it so that all of us, as employees of this corporation, are successful.
Excellent. A couple of closing comments.
Before you close,
Okay, you got another one?
we did have some burning desires that popped up at the last minute. One came through on Yammer, and then we also have one on the inside here. If you wanted to go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, I'm Simone Jenkins. I'm a land records coordinator in the land engineering department. I want to say thank you with invaluable information. My question goes to my coworkers. I have a group of friends in the organization that are contractors, but they want to become employees. What provisions are we making to have some of these resources made to them, or is it not available to them to try to advance in the company?
Okay. Okay. I'll take that one on behalf of my HR colleagues. I see Jesse out there, but that's a question we get. That's a question we get a lot. Obviously, jobs that are posted and are out there for any external candidate, contractors can apply for. In terms of company resources and things like that, that would help them prepare, those resources are not available to them to be in compliance with local, state, and federal law. Glenn?
It's ironic because when we have two questions pop up at the same time, they're virtually the same question. That was the same question that came through on Yammer. So thank you very much. Did you have closing comments, or did you have another question that you wanted to?
What I wanted to do was just point out to the audience and to all involved in the job selection process that we've done, meaning managers, HR, diversity, talent acquisition, to respond to the concerns and to put out their information, resources, and training to help people be the best candidate so that they can increase the probability of getting a job. And then secondly, especially to our virtual audience, if you had questions that we did not get to, if you'll go ahead and simply post those on Yammer, we'll get responses to those, and then we'll put those back out for all employees to see, and you can access them from the diversity website.